Hi guys, welcome to Web Technologies. We'll be discussing about how to upload images into a MySQL database using PHP. Let's get started. Right there in Sublime Text, I have the hierarchy of the source code in which they are listed as you're seeing right there: constants.php, the db connect, the store image, image upload, image.php, and the style.css. I'll be taking them one after the other. The constant.php houses the constants, the major constants we need when we talk about the DB host, the database name, the database user, and the database password, which have their appropriate values side by side with them. Now, if you're using localhost like XAMPP, you can opt for a database user of roots with no password. That's all cool. You also need to define the maximum size allowed for the images you're about uploading. This right there in bytes, which is approximately 1 MB. So any upload that is above 1 MB won't be allowed. So that's just what that means. Let's get to look at the DB Connect. We're trying to connect to a database. Create a class called DB Connect, this OOP in PHP. And this is a constructor, an empty constructor, function construct with a private variable. Over there, right there in the connect method, we're going to get the constants from the file. What we need to require once the constants.php. After that, we'll be connecting to the database, where we need to get an instance of the connection and instantiate with the MySQL, passing in the DB host, the DB user, DB password, and the DB name as the 4 parameters needed. And if there's an error, it's going to return null, where we need to get that, the MySQL connect error, which are actually going to echo out failed to connect with the database, and passing in the MySQL connect error, and it returns null. If everything goes well, it's going to return the connection, which is this connection you're seeing right there. So we're actually going to be using this connection right there in the course of the other source. In the store image PHP, this is a class called store image. We still have the private connection right there. Now, in the constructor of the store image, you need to require once the directory to the DB connect, and you need to instantiate the DB with the new DB connect, and you pass in the connection to the DB connect. So you need to you now have an instance of the connection, which will be used in the course of other methods. In the course of saving the image, you take in 2 parameters, the description and the image itself over here. But before I finish up with all the methods needed, I would like to look at the PHP where we need to create an images table with 3 columns: ID, description, and image. Let's get to look at the structure of this table. The structure, we have an ID of integer with a length of 11, and the description of variable character of 1000. The image, I want you to look at something now. The data type is long blob. Very important. So you should actually put that in mind when you're creating the table and the columns involved. The ID is a primary key, auto increment, not null. So you have that specified just this way. Heading back to the Sublime Text, let's get to understand more about how to save, get, and call images. Now, when we're about saving the image, we need to run a query which inserts into the images table we saw earlier with the values, description, image columns, and the values will be passed into it. They are depicted with this question mark. Now you need to bind the parameters to the description and image, and you need to execute the query. So now, to get all images, we also need the connection, which we have here, and we need to prepare the query to select the ID description from images ordered by the ID in descending order. That's just the query you've seen right there. We need to execute that, and we actually probably be getting an array. So that's why you have that as an array, and you need to loop through the array while the variable that binds up the result fetches. You have an array push to actually place them at the end of the last index of an array. So that's just what that does. So you close up and you return the image object. Now to get the image content based on the image ID, since we have an ID field declared right in the table, you need to also prepare the query. The query will look like this. Select image from images where the ID is unknown or is a variable, which is the image ID. Now you also need to execute that, and you bind the result, fetch that right, and return the image object. So we're actually going to be calling these functions right there in the course of the display. Let's get to look at the image upload.php. This is actually encompassed with the HTML markup and the CSS. Firstly, we need to require the store image PHP. In the head tag, we declare the title and the link, the style sheet called the style.css. Right there in the body, we declare the header, h1 tag, and the h2 tag. Cool. And we have the PHP that actually uploads the image in question. So we get to look at the upload PHP function later on. Let's look at the markups we have. We have the form, which actually posts data down to the PHP function with a submit value. You can see right there, and we're going to have an echo anytime the upload is successful or not. And just beside the form, we're going to be having another field, and in this field it's called the images panel with a class which we're actually going to float to right there in the CSS, and this actually run the PHP code to iterate through all the values we have right there in the images DB, and it's actually going to speed them out, and that means the images you're uploading will show just by the side of the view, with a for loop that iterates through the images, and we're going to have this right there. The width of the image is 250, while the height is going to be auto, and the source of the image is going to point down to the image.php, passing in the image ID as the unique identifier. Now let's get to look at the post method that posts the image right there to the DB. First of all, test if the submit button is triggered with a set post submit, and now we declare a variable called store image that instantiates an object rather of store image that instantiates the store image PHP right there. And now the fields needed is the description and image, which we have there, and we have the post for the description. And now for image, we need to prompt the files. Image is actually a file. That's why you see the post files. And we have the image identifier and also the temporary name given to the image. Now we're going to get the size. If it's maximum is higher than the maximum size allowed, we are actually not going to make that run. But if it's not, that's the essence of adding this exclamation. If it's not higher than the maximum size allowed, we're going to make that run, and we're actually going to save that. We're going to call the save image method right from the store image class of the PHP class, and we're going to pass in the description and the image content as the two parameters needed in that method. And if successful, we're going to have a message, image successfully uploaded. Else there's an error somewhere, Going to get that as well. Some error occurred. Please try again. So we have that as settled. Now let's look at the image PHP that keeps getting the images right from the DB for us. Now we still need to create an object of the store image, and you need to require once the store image PHP. Fine, that's a class that actually houses almost all the methods, the helper methods needed. Now we call on the header content type, which is in JPEG, the image, and you echo out the store image object to get the image content based on the ID being passed in from the image upload class. So that's how that's actually going to upload the image, gets the appropriate image being uploaded. Let's get to look at the style CSS, where this just styling the HTML markup to make it appealing and look appropriate. We have the body, the H1 and H2 tags, the header that actually holds onto the header tag, and the A tag, which is with the color of we give it a kind of grayish color, and the text decoration to none. So if you hover around the A tag, you're going to have that color. So we have the footer as well and the content. So these are just normal style sheets. You should be acclimatized with the background color, the width and height, the content height, the padding around each content, and the upload panel class. So this is where we get to float to left. I think I told you we're going to float that so that we're going to have the panel to the left and the image uploaded to the right. So that's cool. Without much ado, I would like to show you right there in the web browser. Let's get to implement this. So we're going to actually move straight down to the link. I'm actually using a live server. You can also use XAMPP or the local server like WAMP or LAMP. They all work perfectly. So I'm going to run this uploaded images. The image upload.php is going to be the focal point. This is where you start up the application. I'm going to run this. So I have that displayed. This is the header and the footer, and we have the form field and the submit button, and we have the uploaded images section that's always right there at the right corner. So I'm going to choose a file. I'm going to choose any file and just choose what I'm seeing right there. Let me choose this first, and I'm going to open that. So the part has been attached. Now I'm going to type a message testing out upload of images. Just have that done, and let me strike on the submit button. So I'm going to have that uploaded, and can you see that? Can you see the picture displayed side by side in a coherent form while uploading? At the same time, it's actually displays perfectly. Let me pick another image to try one more, and let me pick the second one right there. Let me just call it dynamic image. Let me submit this. Can you see that? So we'll keep having all the images. So that shows that the image we uploaded is successfully uploaded to the MySQL database. I can also access the database. Let me get to look at that. Let me just browse through, see what was added. Cool, I have it added. Dynamic image, testing out upload of images, and we have that settled. This is an intro to the uploading of images to MySQL database. Thank you very much for hanging out with me throughout this tutorial, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a blessed time. Bye bye.